So, in an effort to cover all the movies that are coming out this very busy fall season, you're going to see just a few reviews that jump right to the review. They don't have the traditional Beyond the Trailer opening. And again, that's just so I can review as many movies as possible. So today we're going to talk about Cantinflas, the Spanish language film that is hitting theaters here in the US. And it's a very charming movie. Now this is my second time seeing a Spanish language film in theaters. The first was last year for Instructions Not Included by Eugenio Derbez. And it was not lost on me that Derbez's persona, a very popular Mexican comedian today, is so similar to Cantinflas's. And I just think it's interesting that the current Mexican comedian that's so beloved, the most beloved, some would say, echoes the former most beloved Mexican comedian. I think it speaks a lot to the society and culture there and their taste in entertainment, which I can see why they like it because it's a really charming character. Now, as for the movie, it's your standard Hollywood bio, but what I think sets it apart are two things. One, it's a really great look at the Mexican film industry, and two, Oscar Jaenada, its star, who plays Mario Moreno, aka Cantinflas. And please forgive me on any pronunciation here. I'm trying to get it right. Please know I don't have a very good ear for foreign languages. But that's not going to keep me from covering foreign film. All right, so with the Mexican film industry, I think the movie does an excellent job of showing how it's both similar and different from Hollywood. I really liked the story structure they have set up here. They're kind of working towards this big event in Cantinflas' career around the world in 80 days, and they cut back and forth between the rise of Mario Moreno's career and also producer Mike Todd struggling to get Around the World in 80 Days made. So you're jumping back and forth in time, and I think it's an effective device. They did that recently with Get On Up with James Brown, which I think was less effective, but here, I think because they're kind of going to meet in the middle, it maybe works a little bit better for a framing device and to just kind of mix things up. I also appreciated the coverage of the union problems in Mexico's entertainment industry that Mario Moreno worked so hard to combat. That was very interesting as well. And they have a nice little montage or newsreel of all the Mexican stars of the time, which was very cool. I went with my parents, and my mother was actually familiar with some of those actors. So that was very cool indeed, and it really piqued my curiosity. Now, as for Oscar Jaenada, what was very interesting about him? I thought that he was a really good actor in this film. And it's interesting because I looked him up after I saw it. I was so enchanted with his performance. And I discovered that he was in The Losers, that Zoe Saldana movie and Idris Elba film, Jeffrey Morgan film from a couple of years ago, the DC adaptation, or maybe it was a Vertigo book. I don't think it was a Vertigo book. I don't think it was good enough to be a Vertigo book. But he was in that film as the silent sharpshooter. And then also he was in Pirates 4. And I have to be honest, he didn't catch my attention in either of those movies, but I really noticed him here. Not only was he very good at portraying Cantinflas, both the character and the actor who played him, but I thought he did a really nice job of showing how Mario Moreno progressed, how he evolved into a really impressive businessman. When you see the scene between him and Mike Todd when they meet for the first time, it was really something to see. And that's another way that the story setup, the story structure paid off, and that you up until that point you'd only seen Mario Moreno as this very excited new kid on the block, and then here you were seeing him as this he'd grown and turned into this really impressive businessman who knew his stuff. And so that scene was one of my favorites in the movie, and it's due largely to Oscar Jaenada's performance. Now, Oscar Jaenada, of course, as I said, he did make an impression in those two movies that I saw him in, and foreign talent has a hard time sometimes getting into the U.S. market, even when they're in a big movie. And I thought it was very interesting when they showed Mario Moreno going to the Golden Globes for Around the World in 80 Days, that the press didn't know who he was, and they didn't want to take his photo. And that was so funny to me because that still happens today. When I was on the red carpet for X-Men Days of Future Past, Omar Sy, of course, was doing the red carpet. And he is like one of the biggest stars, or if not the biggest star in France right now, thanks to the Intouchables. He's going to be on Jurassic World coming up. Yet still, no one in the press line knew who he was. Nobody wanted to interview him. I knew who he was because I really am making an effort to pay attention to foreign films and the talent that's involved there. So I was like, oh, I definitely want to talk to Omar Sy. But everybody else no idea who he was. So I think it's funny that that's still not changing. But if you would like to educate yourself and really get more into foreign film, I think that Cantinflas is a really safe bet and a good use of your time. And I think it's not only good to get you some exposure to foreign film, but also to get an idea for the Mexican film industry, past and present, because of course this is a Mexican film. But then not only to expose yourself to new talent, but I think it's also, this is a great film, just like The Last of Robin Hood, which is also out right now, which I recently reviewed. That's the Dakota Fanning, Kevin Kline, Susan Sarandon film. It's a great behind-the-scenes Hollywood story. And, you know, some of us, especially if you're probably watching this channel, really enjoy those classic Hollywood stories. And this is one of them. So if you like those stories, if you like watching Turner Classic Movies, I think you'll really enjoy Cantinflas. And also, speaking of that classic movie fan in many of us, you'll really like the opening credit sequence. It was very fun. It was this really kind of done with like paper cutouts, semi-animated, but it was like an old Hollywood announcement reel, and they were talking about, you know, the landscape in Hollywood at the time, the movies that were being made, and it was just so fun and so energetic. It was a great way to kick off the movie, and it had me start the film with a smile on my face. So that's Cantinflas. I hope you'll check it out, even if you do have to read subtitles. I'd say maybe a third of the film is in English, because Mike Todd, of course, speaks only English, so it's not totally subtitled, but I think, you know, I would hope that you would, you know, give it a shot, because it's a really good film. And as I said, it's a very safe bet, you know, because it has kind of an, you know, it has American sensibilities, I guess, to some degree, in terms of the subject matter, and, you know, because it's a Hollywood story, and also the story structure. So that's my review of Cantinflas. Thank you so much for tuning in, and you can check out some more episodes right now.